Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Europa Universalis 4. I'm your Valios Galvin, and this is the Imperium Universalis mod. So, the Imperium Universalis mod takes the start date all the way back to 195 AUC, or since the founding of Rome. Conveniently on the side here, we can see the date equivalents in something the majority of the population can read. If I tell you 559 BC, you know what I'm talking about. And, well, that's where we're starting. 559 BC, with Cyrus the Great, who would go on to found the Grand Persian Empire, conquering Media, Babylon, Egypt, and Lydia, as well as probably also a couple other minor states along the way. Indeed, quite an empire he would form. Now, that said, as for us, this game does have a lot of focus on the Greco-Italian Middle Eastern region, but we're going somewhere else. Somewhere nicer, warmer. I say India. I've decided to play as Kalinga, mostly because India right now is a gigantic showdown of, nothing. It wouldn't be up until even, I guess, the Pyrrhic War, that Magadha would end up actually taking over most of the Indian continent, and it would continue to rise a little farther. Now, we're going to try and, do that as Kalinga, because their flag and their color is a lot cooler. Also because they have better ideas than these guys. Like, the Indian ideas everyone else has are actually better than the unique ideas. Core creation cost, aggressive expansion reduction. They still get a lot of the good ideas too, like national unrest and minus 5 years of separatism. A lot of ideas are shared. So, I think I actually like the regular Indian ideas better. Indeed, and we shall. Especially that goods produce modifier. That'll come in a lot of handy. So, let's jump right on in then. Another thing is that we will actually start as the Indian religions, which we have a lot of flexibility in. More or less meaning I can convert between them whenever I see fit. And this will cause, of course, some discord in the realm to do so, but it nonetheless can be quite advantageous. There is Brahmin, which is production efficiency and monthly autonomy. Dravadian, which is a land maintenance reduction and an advisor cost reduction. And finally, there's Jainism, which is diplomatic reputation and a yearly corruption reduction. In addition to the karma system, which I know Brahmin doesn't get. I don't know about Dravadian though. But having high karma gets us another 0.10 off our corruption. Oh, sweet corruption milling. Seriously, by the end of this, I'll probably have like minus 0.4 corruption every year. I can, just debase my currency once every 5 years, and it's good. It'll be perfectly fine. So, unfortunately, that said, as with all countries in India, we are tribal, so we'll have a few problems, but I'm sure it'll be fine, and we can work our way through it. Good. So, state maintenance reduction. That's helpful to our initial economy. Alright, so we do have a couple of countries on our border. These guys are Brahmin, but control Jain lands. So, they're probably going to be an initial good rival, we'll see. Odra, you're up on it. Alright. Shabara's also a pretty good one, but they've rivaled us, yeah, we might as well. As has Andhara. Alright, we're going to need to find a friend then. You're a friend. You're also probably a pretty good friend. Potential friends. Alright. Well, I'm going to select Vanga as my third rival. Alright. Because that's just more or less I'm laying out my own internal expansion path. Well, that's a lovely way to start things off. Thanks. Good game. Just lose some development, why don't you? Ow. We will be activating the food system, though it doesn't apply in India. Food doesn't apply to tribes, you see. So, eventually someday we will probably reform. And then our empire will probably collapse from starvation, because that's usually how it goes. But, hopefully not. Be optimistic, right? I don't know. Do I need a fleet? probably not. The answer is I probably don't. Conquer Odra. Sure, you know what, why not? So let's see if they can pull off any allies in the first month. No, the answer is they cannot. Well, that's a real shame for them, isn't it? Honestly, I don't know. I'm gonna go with no for the moment, I think. I want to see about others. Because they're kind of close and potentially in my way. That's what I kind of liked about. I wanted Andhara as an alliance. Kola's not a wise choice. Because if I'm attacked, they have no real way to get to me. Alright. You know what? Vaj, alright. They're a pretty good pick. Okay. So either way. Yeah. Declaring war. That's fine. Nobody cares about our karma anyway. Let's go, team. Probably could have moved into position first, but I didn't really quite expect. Okay, they have no other forts? Cool. Just checking. So this is the only fort then. Alright. Also, begin the blockade. So, don't care, well actually these are important. Although we can't do them yet. Yeah, we need an admin skill of 5 in our ruler. I didn't even look at our starting ruler, did I? 233. Well, you know, he's pretty solid all around. Not too bad. But we will need to do some reforms, that's for sure. We have to reform all 3 of these, unfortunately, before we can get a real government. Unfortunately, it does leave it a little up to chance. No. Honestly. That said, no real marriage? Alright. Yeah, they're unsurprisingly trying to go the other way, but since we have, you know, control, we started our siege earlier. We should be able to finish our siege well before they finish theirs, but you never know. We'll see where it lands. The fates can be cruel. The fates are being very favorable to us. I'll send them away. I'm pretty much going to abolish slavery whenever I can. Speaking of pump, admin, and everything, no. We are not going to loot, pillage, and destroy. That's a very bad idea. Ooh. Gotta be careful. Don't want to lose. So, let's see. Ooh, that's a bit of a coalition. That's quite a bit of a coalition, just for 3 provinces. Gotta be careful about that. Utkala. Alright. I think this is okay, though. I don't know. Shaba, Magda, Odra, Anga, Vanga. Yeah, that's too much. That's too much. We'll have to sit on these 2 provinces and accept that. Must be content. Good. Sweet Jainism. Prevents us from all of our problems. Even still covers us from our low karma penalty. Ow. I mean, on the plus side, manpower recovery speed. Right? Right, guys? Ow. Yeah, I'm not surprised Shibaro is no longer a valid rival for us. They're really pissed about it. I guess we might as well make Andhara... No. Out of anybody like Magadha as a rival. Because as I've talked about, I'm interested in sort of using it to lay out an expansion path. That's fine. We have money up the wazoo. So, sorry, what was that? Ooh, 336. That's a military reform right there. All right, good. I enjoy that. Good king. All right. Gives the ability to go to war with Vanga as well. Although I'm somewhat weary of the idea of that. I do have to be cautious about aggressive expansion after all. Oh, damn, should have got him first. I mean, aggressive expansion impact minus 10% is a pretty solid pick, honestly. But I also need one of these guys a little more. Mostly because I just need admin points up the wazoo. Alright. The bigger district. Or the beggar district. Yeah, no. Renovate the beggar district. We're gonna need it. This is actually potentially really good for us, because that could be... Yeah. Where's the Medicus? Oh, of course he would live. Of course he would live. Be far too easy if he just dropped dead. It'd be far too easy if our... You know, honestly? Yeah, you know what? Monarch, you're now a leader. Perfect. Hopefully he dies nice and young. The queen takes over. We get a reform through. The heir takes over. We get our military reform through. Then we'll just need the, you know, Diplo reform. Alright. Well, I mean, our manpower reserves do need to recover. And we're probably not going to be doing anything for a little while. On the military front, at least. I can tell you that now. I would say I want to debase my currency. You know what? I do. We don't have any absolutism to lose right now. So it's just corruption of 2%, which is actually really easy for us to get rid of. Because we're Jane. And we're turning that money as an investment into more money, after all. By building buildings, probably. Yeah, that's all we can build right now. Well, alright, we're putting in the bank for later. I'm putting it in the bank for later, I promise. Alright. 8 and 8.4. Is there anything we can do about that? Or... Probably not, I'm going to wager. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, Jainism's a solid -2 here. That's good. It helps, but it's not enough. So yeah, right now all we can build are forts and gravel roads. No, just mothball the forts. We're just going to amass money for our first tech up here. Because then we unlock buildings like the shrine, the small marketplace, and the army camp. Very useful buildings. And Hara and Anga. So, another pick on them will not be an easy one. Somehow I don't think any future ones are going to be easy. Avanti and Vanga. Alright. I mean, that's fine for now, obviously. I mean, we're still sitting on a decent amount of aggressive expansion. It's going to be probably, you know, a little while longer before... I wanna say about 10 years before we go to war again. We took our provinces, we walked away. Now the question comes, do I want to immediately go into imperial government ideas and get that aggressive expansion down? Or if I want to play the slower game and just slowly conquer. Because I could go something like Scholar Ideas, which has just the most phenomenal finisher. Another friggin' yearly corruption reduction to stack for my plan of just debasing my currency once every so often. Which, I mean, let's be honest, it's a lot of free money. Does the development cost as well? Am I even allied to you? I don't know. The problem is I might... No. You know what? I'm not going to war with them anytime soon. I'm not even going to pretend it. I've seen our aggressive expansion in action. There we go. And I think we immediately follow up with a slavery abolishment. I think we do. And then immediately also. Ding. Oh good, Andhara embraced the writing system. Yeah, we already started with that. Just southern India and beyond that needs... Man, Rajapura is not doing well. They've lost a lot of development. Oof. I mean, I'm not going to replace our heir as long as he has a valid, you know, reforming stat. That would be silly. Like I said, I can only hope that our king ends up dying a natural death. At a very young age. Yeah, and we can also start fabricating claims once we have Diplotech 2. That'll be helpful. I should also consider trade. Yeah, we have the Kalinga node, which unfortunately spans quite a lot of territory. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a rough one to do, but I'm sure we can figure out something. Maybe in the end we can get all of our trade in India into Indos and make money, 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 money. Loads of money. Alright, well, we could take up Defender of the Jain Faith. I mean, honestly. Yeah, kick him out. I don't want more corruption than I already have, thank you. And, I mean, we can just hire a new one. So it basically just cost me 13 gold rather than 1 corruption. Which I think is worth it. Especially considering I can turn corruption to basically, what, 60 some odd gold here. The problem is it costs me absolutism to do it. Which I'm not super happy about, but we'll see. Manpower reserves have recovered, huzzah. That's worth it then. Build roads in our capital, of course. Get to it. There. Rebel uprising potentially soon. I mean, that's dropped a lot. And I mean, it's going to continue to drop at 0.5 a year, but obviously that's not going to be acceptable. Alright. Well, I mean, we're kind of on guard for this at this point. So we're just going to wait. Nice events. Once it's 90%, we'll, you know, put up the army and all that. Good. So it's dropped again. Honestly, I'll put up the army now. Move them in here. And the troops 3.75. Yeah, it's just barely enough to cover it, but it should hopefully buy us the time we need. Alright. For the rest of it to decay. Alright. Also, I mean, legitimacy's on its way up, so that also does help. Great feast. Do this more often. Well, there we go. That'll reduce the... That'll help. In fact, split in half now. Done. It's now reducing by 10% every month. Alright. Good. So we've more or less managed to wrangle and hold on to this land pretty effectively, I'd say. Good. Good. Indeed. Right, I should also have a look at our priests, or monastic orders, I suppose. Point a court priest. Then maybe I might be able to get some admin support out of them. Tribal gatherings, lose 10 legitimacy, but they get 10. I see, so I can do that as well. Seems unnecessary. Alright. Corruption's still on its way down, so. I see no reason to spend the power just yet, even though it's only going to be like, what, an extra 6. Provincial unrest. Yeah. That's fine. That is perfectly fine. I mean, it went down to 0%, so they got to start all over again. And they got just a little over 2 years to climb up all the way. Before, you know, I don't know, 4 years. 0.5 a year. I mean, the main thing we're going to be building around here is shrines, so it's mostly admin tech we're waiting on. Especially depending on what I want to go here. Influence ideas for another aggressive expansion hit. I mean, I would say expansion ideas are a possibility. There is uncolonized land along the coast here that we could grab. Though, I don't think that's necessary. Alright. So, reforming administration. Administrative, domestic, government, or economic. Trade, naval, maritime. I say domestic government, honestly. Based off of all that. Because splendor, inflation reduction, national unrest reduction, maximum absolutism. This is actually a pretty solid group. I mean, I'm also probably going to want syncretic religion. Probably. It's tough to say. Alright. 585, yeah. Okay. And we can finally get it. Alright, so we now have our first idea group. Which, I mean, domestic government, decent pick. We don't need imperial government because we're probably going to be able to reform militarism. Which, but again, scholars is a really good one. Yearly armor tradition decay is literally halved. Institution stuff is alright. That's mostly useless, but that is a great finisher. The earlier you get this, the more it pays off. There's 50 techs in this game for each thing. That means 6, let's see, each percentage there, that's 15 per tech. So, 150 every 10 techs. Yeah, it's not bad. That's like 600-700 of each power. And that's just counting off of techs, not even ideas or any other expenditures I make. So, I can't say no to that as my first idea group, honestly. Especially because it has an unseen effect that at some point in the future I will have to talk about. Well, it'll be in the next era, which you will see here promote the scholars as a objective we have. And pro tip, it's complete the scholar idea group, which is excellent. Speaking of which, we are piling up favor. Ooh, that's good. Urbanization might be a pick, either that or citizen army. I don't know, as a tribe, we don't really have that many citizen units available to us. Megalopolis, we've got that. Have 100 heavy ships? Yeah, let's not. We're not going to be Zoroastrian, so that's probably all we're getting until advanced metallurgy. Alright. Well, either way. in addition to this. Let's do that. And go to buildings. It's interesting. I guess these belong to estates or something? They would have to. That's seemingly minimum autonomy 25. Belongs to the monastic orders. Minimum autonomy 50. Due to controlled by clans. I see. Yes. Very well. They demand a lot of land. Didn't really think of that. Alright. Well, we'll probably have to play their game for now. Sadly. Oddly enough, I'm more tempted to put it in somewhere like here because it's still Kalingan. I mean, here's the thing. This is going down. Yeah. Even with separatism in it, it's still better to put the shrine here for the long run. There we go. Pile of shrines are now being built. That'll help our income a little bit. Good. But with that, it's time for me to say goodbye for our first episode. So if you like what you see here, please don't forget to leave a comment, like, and subscribe, as it does help the channel grow. I have been your lovely, lovely host, Kelvin. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.